This Perp back with another video, and I just got done watching the season 2 finale of Yellowjackets. I want to first thank everybody that's been checking out my reviews, leaving comments, and just engaging. I will see y'all in season 3, whatever that may be. Hopefully we don't gotta wait too long because the writer's strike. With that all being said, let's get right into this because, man, we have lost a Yellow Jacket in this episode. So, starting off with where the last episode left off, as far as them being in the wilderness, they're coming back, and Nat is just completely in shock on what she has done, and Travis is just so happy to see Nat, but then sees the rest of the Yellow Jackets come back with Javi, and it's just completely broken, you know what I'm saying, seeing his little brother like that, and, knowing that Nat was the one that was supposed to be chosen and ended up being Javi. And some people had some good, predictions that, like, it was always supposed to be Javi next and whatnot, and kind of goes into what ends up happening towards the end of this episode. Back in present day, Lottie is getting ready to, do this whole Russian roulette with this drink, but then Shauna kind of just gasses her up and says, look, we should just do this the old school way, draw cards and go out into the wilderness. And then Lottie's like, oh yeah, we should do that. And everybody's kind of looking at Shauna like, are you serious? But they try to formulate a plan to try to stop Lottie from doing what she's about to do. Going back to the wilderness, Lottie is starting to kind of wake up, and this is where things start to really unfold, what really went down and who is really the leader here, where Lottie is shocked that they ended up killing Travis. She never wanted this to happen. And Misty's pretty much like, there's no going back on this now. You have to kind of see this through. And you see that Misty kind of manipulated the situation here as she goes down and starts to kind of take lead for herself and tells Shauna, you know what you need to do. And this was really, really hard to kind of watch. It's very emotional because, Travis just loves his brother. We spent a good majority trying to find him, and now him to come back just to only really die this time, it's really hard for him to kind of come to grips with that. And it's also hard for Shauna to be able to cut him open and whatnot, and she has to kind of even blindfold herself to do so. Jumping back to present day, you have Misty going through Lottie's office trying to figure out different ways to get this plan going. Everybody's getting ready to do their part, but Walter pops up, and Walter is the MVP of this episode. He's like, I came here to help, because in the previous episode it looked like, he might be giving up Nat, or not Nat, but Misty. And while this is going on, we really get to see Van's psyche play out with her older self and her younger self. And she's always kind of been on this demon time where she kind of says like, yo, this is what's best for Lottie. We're all kind of fucked up in the head. You know what I'm saying? You're sick. We're all kind of sick here, but we have to do this to kind of, for us to be able to move on. Things start to get more interesting as Jeff and Callie pull up to Lottie's whole cult entrance, and Jeff decides to kind of just take a different route, but not knowing that he's been followed by Kevin and Detective Douchebag, which gets really interesting. And we have this whole moment between Lisa and Nat, and she's acting really weird towards Lisa, and Lisa can catch on to this, where she kind of seemingly kind of says a goodbye and a farewell, which makes Lisa do something very interesting towards the end of the episode. We'll get into it though, stay tuned. Coach comes back and just sees a complete massacre out front of the cabin, runs into Nat and tells Nat, like, look, we don't have to stay here. I know where Javi has been this whole time. There's a cave that we can go and live. You don't have to live this way. And Nat is pretty much accepting what she has done, that, it's my fault that Javi's dead. I just sat there and let him die. And then it shifts to Van talking to Travis, where she is on demon time, bro. She keeps it real. She's just like, look, we have to do this to survive. You shouldn't feel guilty for this. Javi would want you to eat him. That's so dark, bro. That is really dark for Van to say, but it's interesting that, if you pay attention to her character, it seems like this thing or whatever happened to them in the wilderness really has not left them. It's always been a part of them, and it seems like that's what this whole entire episode is trying to let you know with their adult selves. Then going back to present day, where Walter's like singing "Bring in the Clowns," Kevin startles him, and he's kind of surprised, like, oh, you're an actual detective too. And this is where I was thinking that he was going to flip, but then what ends up happening, Jeff sees this whole conversation and decides, you know what, I'm going to take one for the team. I want to protect my wife, and he owns up to the death of Adam. And, not knowing that whatever was in that drink that Walter made knocks his ass out. And I'm just like, yo, Walter is the GOAT right now, and he's officially Team Yellowjackets. And he tells Jeff, like, yo, snap out of it. I just need you to help me move this body. I got this all planned out. Don't worry. Then back at the wilderness, we have Coach out there trying to survive on his own. He's struggling, just trying to start a fire while everybody else is having a damn feast. Shauna gives Travis Javi's heart to kind of bite into, and of course they have to grill it up, and they go crazy. It's like moths to flies on shit. Like they jump on it quickly. And here we go again with Misty kind of forcing Lottie to just eat the food, eat Javi, and accept this whole lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? It's very odd, and it's such a interesting twist what ends up happening. So back to present day, everybody's getting ready to do this whole ritual. Lottie's kind of getting her mental right for this whole entire moment, while you'll see Van and Thaisa calling some type of psych ward, and Nat has her own kind of plan. She got like a knife tucked, and they're just about ready to, get things going. But then we shift things to Callie, and she runs into Detective Douchebag, and she has the blicky on her. She has the blick, and she's ready to. She was really about to pull the trigger until Detective Douchebag gets a call, and it ends up being Walter kind of trying to lure him out for a specific plan. And I can't wait to talk about that. But shifting things back to, the Yellowjackets, they're all doing the drawing of the cards. None of them the first time go around, draw the queen card, because whoever draws the queen card is the person that gets hunted down. And this is where Lottie gets very, very creepy, man. And they end up doing it again, and Shauna draws the queen, and they start to chase her down. Going back to Walter real quick and his master plan, where Detective Douchebag pretty much hears Kevin's phone ringing. He opens the trunk, and then Walter comes out of the cut and just bow, 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 and just pops his ass. And he pretty much blackmails Detective Douchebag. Like, he's like, look, you have either a couple choices here. You know what I'm saying? I could frame you for all this, and, you could just go about your way. And of course, it works. It works. And then as Shauna is being chased down, Callie pops the shit out of fucking Lottie, and Shauna's like, oh, put the gun down. Put the gun down. And you really start. This was fucking eerie when you see Lottie's like mask and her head kind of tilt a little bit. It was just fucking creepy as all hell. Then we get back to the cabin and it's focused on Lottie. Everybody's thanking Lottie, but then Lottie pretty much says, look, you know, I'm not built for this. I'm not meant to lead. I thought I was. Obviously, it's calling out to somebody else, and this is where we get the reveal that Nat was chose to be the leader. Everybody is pretty much acknowledging her. Coach is kind of peeping this out, has his own plans. Then we shift back to present day, and then Lisa comes out the cut, puts a gun on Nat, and Nat's like, yo, Lisa, just calm down, put the gun down. And you see Misty start to take out this like syringe, and she's trying to catch her off guard, but it's too late, where Nat kind of jumps in front to save Lisa and takes the needle, and that ends up killing her. And I was like, damn, bro, that was a really tough death. You know, I didn't really expect that. You know, out of everybody here that popped up, I always expected Van, just because, you know, what she's dealing with the cancer. I was not expecting that, but it makes sense because, you know, they gave her a lot of you know, screen time, and also they spent a lot of time with her character and her kind of atoning for what she has done. So it only made sense that it had to be Nat. Cops show up. Everybody's kind of really distraught and just kind of shooken up, especially Misty, because this is, again, where she has to kill one of her closest friends, and she's just really broken up about it, even though Walter helped in this whole situation. And Jeff also confides in Shauna, like, everything's going to be okay. Lottie is going to be locked up again. I don't know for how long. And I wonder what Van is thinking in this moment. And it's just hard to kind of see all of our characters kind of in this moment. And I'm curious to see where this is going to go for 3 more seasons, because this was a really interesting finale, but there's still a lot more story to be told. The episode ends with Shauna like writing in her like journal or diary on, you know, wishing it was her that was sacrificed and not Javi. And then she gets distracted as, you know, she sees that there's a fire. So all of them start to gather everything that they need, and everything kind of burns to the ground. And I'm surprised that the coach made it this far, but it definitely looks like he's going to be on the chopping block for season 3. And they might stumble upon the cave, and that might just end up being their new home. But seeing them just in shock that the whole cabin is just burnt, so they have to find a new place to live. And I'm assuming that it's going to end up being springtime in season 3 at some point. But this was a great finale. RIP to Nat. Let me know how you guys feel about this finale in the comments below. Till next time, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.